So it's been maybe a little over 24 hours since I got my HTC 10, and this video is just going to be a mini review of how I feel about the phone a day later. It's not going to be anything that's too in-depth. I'm not going to go into the camera just yet because I feel like I really need more time with that. But I feel like I can talk about some of the little things that I've noticed since I've gotten it. Now, I'm going to go a little out of order here, and that's because my battery is dying, so that's what I'm going to talk about first before I have to plug it back in. You can see right now I'm at 4% battery, but my experience with the battery in a day has been pretty good. What I did is after I did my first impressions video yesterday, I just ended up charging the phone to 100%. But let's take a look at the battery real quick, and while we're at 3%, let's take a look at the screen on time before it dies on me. So as far as screen on time goes, I have over 5 hours, which is pretty good, and that's with mixed use. That's with some Wi-Fi, a lot of LTE, so not bad at all. And I just did the basic things pretty much on a phone: Facebook, Instagram, a lot of YouTube. I used it to cast Netflix while I was at home, surf Chrome, use Snapchat. No gaming or anything that would be intensive or heavy on the CPU, just your normal basic phone apps. While we're on the topic of battery, the phone has been on for about 19.5 hours. Over 5 hours of screen on time with 19.5 hours on the battery at 100%. The times are similar to what I get on my Samsung Galaxy S7. Both phones have 3000 milliamp hour batteries, and the 5 hours of screen on time is great. It'll get me through a full day with pretty heavy usage. So let's now go in order of how I wanted to talk about this phone. The build quality and the form factor on this phone is excellent. I know I've only had the phone for a day, but when I put this phone in my hand, I just love the way it feels. It is a solid, premium feeling phone. I love the chamfered edges all around the border of the phone. And like I said yesterday, I like the fact that the back of the phone is metal and not glass like on the S7. I know the S7 is glass because it accommodates for wireless charging, but wireless charging isn't something I use. But if wireless charging is important to you, then the S7 makes more sense to have a glass back. But from an aesthetic standpoint, you have a phone like the S7 that is going to be more of a fingerprint magnet than the HTC 10. If you look closely on the HTC 10, yeah, you'll get a little fingerprint like residue, but it's not like how the glass is on the S7. And don't get me wrong, the S7 is a great form factor, and it's also a solidly built phone. Both of these phones are probably the two best right now for 2016 as far as form factor and build quality goes. So far with the limited time I've had with the phone, the display is really good. This whole time I've had the phone at auto brightness and I've had no issues at all. I haven't had to change the slider settings or anything like that. In outdoors, it performs well too. Now, I haven't had a full sunny day yet and just standing outside, but I'm sure I'll get into that a little more as I use the phone. There is an option too for these capacitive buttons to light up. These capacitive buttons are typically not lit up. There is a setting where you can keep them on every time the display is on. I actually prefer that because since I use a Nexus 6P, I always have them on when the display is on, so it kind of just is more suitable for me. But I like that you can keep them on or turn it off. As far as performance goes, performance has been really good on the phone for me. I haven't noticed any hiccups and I haven't noticed anything in response or lag. It seems really fluid. Switching from app to app hasn't been an issue. Right now I have no complaints about performance. It seems to be going really well. The software on the HTC 10 is minimal and I like it that way. It reminds me of stock Android. And because I bought the unlocked version, I don't have carrier bloatware. I don't have like T-Mobile stuff on it that I typically wouldn't ever download, so that's always a plus. For the most part, HTC's UI is very clean and minimalistic. Okay, let's talk about speakers. Now, the speakers on this phone is something I've been waiting for. The HTC 10 has two speakers. One is a front-facing speaker up top here, and one is a bottom-facing speaker below. In theory, on paper, I can appreciate the way it works. But here's the thing, after listening to the speakers on this phone, on YouTube, on Netflix, I've done Google Play Music, the phone just isn't as loud as my Nexus 6P. It's not even as loud as my LG G5. Now, the speakers on the Nexus 6P are very good, and the speaker on the G5 is actually surprisingly good, especially for a bottom-facing speaker. Now, just because a phone is louder doesn't mean that the sound quality is better. I just want to point that out. But I think it's still important for people, especially who want good external speakers on a phone, to have a good loudness volume and maybe sacrifice a little bit in sound quality. Okay, let me just set the speakers up so you can hear for yourself and understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so on the left is an LG G5. The speaker is a bottom-facing speaker that is located right here. And then you have the HTC 10 that has two speakers. You have one speaker right up here, which is a front-facing speaker. And then you have a bottom-facing speaker right here. I'm going to play some small snippets just so you can get an idea. I will be doing a more thorough speaker test later, so don't think this is a be-all end-all for speaker tests. I just want to show you what I'm noticing. Hopefully it transmits okay on the microphone here.
Jesus Christ, who is it? Officer Fleming, come in. Jesus Christ, who is it? Officer Fleming, come in. Hey, good morning, how you doing? Good morning, Your Honor. Donut? No, thank you. What are you doing with the... Hey, good morning, how you doing? Good morning, Your Honor. Donut? No, thank you. What are you doing with the... And so it was that I had shot him several times in the head. Mount Sinai, 615, pronounced dead. The news reporter said the assailants fled the city. And so it was that I had shot him several times in the head. Mount Sinai, 615, pronounced dead. The news reporter said the assailants fled the city.
And here's my Nexus 6P that has two front-facing speakers. So again, to clarify, the HTC 10 is not the loudest phone on the market. Just remember that if you're shopping for a phone and external speakers are important for you. But this is very early in my testing. I haven't had a chance to really test it out yet. And I'm going to need some time to go over the camera, video recording, optical image stabilization, see how the front camera even works as well. Want to talk more about the battery, all of that stuff. But I'm just going to need more time with the phone. Again, these are only my impressions after 24 hours. It's going to take a little more time to really see how the phone fares. I will say that the form factor and build quality on this phone is excellent, probably one of the best, if not one of my favorites now. The display is really good, performance is smooth, no issues. External speakers, I was honestly expecting more and I haven't gotten that.